Good evening, the speaker of the day and all the construction professionals who have logged in. So today we are having the 28th webinar by Ramco Cements. For the past 4 days we had a conference on geotechnical engineer RAGI 2020, which was organized by Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, Indian Geotechnical Society, Ramco Cements, L&T, SJC, and then we had NIE Mysore. So last 4 days were everything about geotechnical engineering, and before that we had a few webinars on blended cement, concrete mix proportioning, smart city. So today is the 28th webinar, and today we have the speaker, Dr.Malathy, who would be talking to us about the relevance of M Sand. So before we go on to the topic, let me just give a brief introduction of the speaker. She is the head of Sona COIN Research Center. Dr. R. Malathy has more than 25 years of teaching experience and 11 years in research. She is the principal investigator for R&D projects funded by IEI. Now she is the ICI chairperson of Salem Center and GC member of ICI. She has done extensive research work on high-performance concrete, self-compacting concrete, self-curing concrete, geopolymer concrete, papercrete, and effect of mineral and chemical admixtures on properties of concrete. She also received Innovative Teacher Award for the year 2005 from CLHRD, Mangalore. She got Career Award for Young Teachers for the year 2006 from AICTE. She patented a product, electronic level indicator, using sensors in the year 2006 and now has 3 patents. She has been recognized for inclusion as a biography in the 2009 edition of Marque's Who's Who in the World, a globally distributed publication which continues to be recognized internationally as the premier biographical data source of notable living individuals from every significant field of endeavor. She received 2 national awards from ISTE. One is for her outstanding research work on development of eco-friendly, low-cost building material, and recently she has been honored with prestigious research award by UGC, New Delhi. She is heading the research center Sona COIN at Sona College of Technology, Salem. So that's the speaker of the day, who would be enlightening us on the role of M Sand and the chemical admixtures in concrete. I feel that this is a very relevant topic because there is a dilemma in the minds of construction professionals as to which one is better, whether river sand is better or M sand is better, or how to evaluate the quality of M sand and what steps can be taken. In fact, in this regard, we have also done some work at our research center at Ramco Research Development Center. Most of the trials that we nowadays do is with M sand because that is what the customers want when they give us the mixed proportions for various grades of concrete, and that has to fulfill the various requirements that they have got. So in that regard, we have taken M sand and different chemical admixtures, and we have been doing a lot of trials, and there is a lot of database of various grades of concrete and mixed proportions, even with our research center. This has all been made possible because of the interaction with construction professionals who have been able to give us the data, and we have been able to do the trials at our center. So that kind of collaborative effort has gone a long way in ensuring that the concrete that is being produced at site is of good quality. So I do not want to take much of the time. So let's listen to our speaker today. Welcome Dr. R. Malathy from Sona College of Technology, Salem, Tamil Nadu, to talk on the role of M sand and admixtures in concrete. Over to you, madam.
Good evening all. Good evening all. I thank Ramco Cements for to interact with you and share with you whatever I have done so far. Today's topic is M sand and admixtures in concrete. Role of M sand, if I am talking about the order of the day, using no other, and admixtures also there. So whether these admixtures can be comparable, or the M sand on the other side and admixtures on the place cement as well as the which will give some specific property to the concrete. So these are different areas that I'm going to make it comfortable to understand how we have to utilize the M sand in a proper way and also how to utilize the features in a proper way. That is what I am going to share in this session. But see, we all know that these are all the components of the concrete. These are, out of which, if you see that fine aggregate is a vital role, we remember it is an inert material and which occupies about 30-35% of the concrete volume. Whether the fine aggregate of the city is inert, whether it will contribute to the strength of the concrete or any other property of the concrete, we have to see. So far, traditionally, we have used the river sand or natural sand as fine aggregate. And the time was the choice made by the constructors. But nowadays, the construction is going up and there are a lot of construction activities are going on and the utilization of river sand is also picking up. In that case, we cannot use that much river sand and we cannot exploit the natural resources more. So in that case, we have to try to find out the other alternative for this fine aggregate. In such a case, we are trying to make some M sand. M sand is nothing but manufactured sand. Most of us, what we are thinking is M sand is a precious stone sand. It is not so. Whatever the alternative material we are trying for replacing river sand is called M sand. It is not only the precious sand, pressure stone dust. It is sometimes it is uh, misunderstood that the question also inside. It is not so. So there is a definite way of using the alternative sand for river sand, and it should obey the rules of how we are using this river sand as per the code. So here sometimes we are saying that it is sand, low sand, and pea sand, and sometimes artificial sand. What is the difference? So all are representing the same thing only. M sand is low sand. What which one is replacing a human or nature, or which is called a robot. So it is low sand, and pea sand is used for blasting purpose. And also, if you see that it is artificial sand. So whatever the sand is available actually has been replaced with some artificial material called artificial sand or any sand, and its quality standards should be maintained. Then only it is called the M sand or artificial sand. Just like that, the pressure dust will not replace the river sand. Then only there is a wrong notion that whether we can use M sand or not will it give the same property as like river sand or not. Unless otherwise there is a need we find out for river sand, just like that we will fight with the sand. So which will give other negative effects on environment. So we have to go for M sand. The M sand not only be the precious sand, it may be other way also. There are some steel slag and other alternatives or other industrial byproducts can also be used as replacement for river sand. Why we have to go for M sand is the growing demand. As I said already, there are a lot of construction works are going on for that. 30 to 35% of volume are replaced with are used for as a fine aggregate. In such a case, there will be a demand, and also global scarcity is there. Now the government is banning, and also for the remote locations, we have to bring the river sand to that place. The transportation cost and the energy consumption is going to be more, and also there are some impurities will be there in the river sand, like clay particles and organic impurities. So which may give some adverse effect on the body. So we have to remove all these things. So instead, we can go with M sand. If you see the process of making the M sand, after washing the clay and silt, then only it will be brought to the site. Because of that, when you compare the impurities in river sand and M sand, there is no impurity will be there in M sand. So definitely it will give good property to the soil. And when you compare natural sand and M sand, if you see that when you mine the natural river beds, soil erosion will be there because of that the danger to the reservoir structures. Whereas for M sand, the 100% natural sand is replaced with M sand, so it is a high product of aggregate. And one point of time, definitely there will be no natural sand available. There will be scarcity. But whereas for M sand, there won't be any scarcity at all. And it contains silt content, whereas for M sand, there is no impurities. And the long distance of transportation can be avoided while using M sand. Whatever the nearly available quarry is there, from there you can take the precious sand or M sand. Then adulteration is possible with natural sand, whereas in M sand it is not so. And we cannot guarantee on gradation. The gradation of natural sand was done with the zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4 like that. But here, whatever the zone you want, whatever the gradation you want, you can make it up of M sand. And a huge inventory cost is there, whereas in case of M sand it is not there. And also removal of pebble boulders, these and all will give additional manpower. Also, there will be additional cost. Usually, for M sand, we should have some general requirements. Anyone want to utilize the M sand, we have to see these things are fulfilled or not. Whether it has higher friction strength, the surface structure of the particles are smooth or not, whether the edges of the particles are rounded, the ratio of fines below 600 micron is less than 30%, and should not be any organic impurities, and silt should be present within less than 2% only, and there is a limit, the permissible limit of fines below 75 microns should not exceed 15%. And if you see that at sieve analysis for the zone 2 sand to get it, we have to sieve the sand and river sand and get it as a zone 2. Whereas in case of manufactured sand, by manufacturing itself, whatever the zone you want, whether for plastic purpose you need finer sand, for the concrete purpose if you need coarser sand, according to the zone you can have it by having the manufactured sand. And if you see the shape of the river sand, it is spherical in nature, whereas for M sand it is cubical in nature. Usually for the good strength, the particle size, particle shape should be cubical. Then only there will be a good particle packing and it improves the strength of the concrete. Gradation cannot be controlled for natural sand, whereas it can be controlled. And particle size also, as I said already, it should be limited. Silt and organic impurities, specific gravity, water absorption, everything is within the limit for M sand. And the one advantage of having the M sand is because of the cubical particle, it has very good interlocking and particle packing property, which improves the strength of the concrete. Only thing is the workability of the concrete being reduced significantly, so that for that also we can use some super plasticizers to improve the workability of the concrete. When you see the workability and its retention, for river sand it is very good, whereas in M sand it is somewhat less. For that only we have to control the fines and we have to apply water absorption correction and use of plasticizers. For setting it is normal, whereas in M sand it is faster. For that also, to rectify this problem, we can go with the apply water absorption correction and we can use some filters. When you see the compressive strength with the river sand, it is normal, whereas for M sand, as I said, because of the better particle packing, it has a higher compressive strength. Permeability is poor in case It is good for us. That also we can have some case that it is for early curing, and when we do early curing, that can be also minimized. And the do's and don'ts while using the M Sand. Mostly the problem while using M Sand is most of the customers, some of the clients, they are asking me I use Instagram. After 2 days, it is leaking. So the thing is, they are not for ready-mix concrete. We have to clearly check and measure whether they have used the proper gradation of sand or whether they have used some pressure there. Whether it has been washed clearly without any impurities or not. With all these measures, only we have to allow them to use M sand for making concrete. Otherwise, there will be some problem, and the product earlier curing or necessary. And when we use some chemical admixtures, whether the chemical admixtures are going along with the properties of M sand and cementitious material. So while we do this, definitely M sand is not only an alternative for and we can check the quality of the M sand at the site in easy way. Just we have to see that whether it is of deep, grayish, chemical and rough texture, and there should not be any white color, and it should be of very zone too, and it should be holding, it should not be sticky, and when it is being mixed with water, there should not be any problem. At least there are some clay particles or organic particles, and when you admit against your fingers, there should not be any stain. That also represents that some impurities are present. In this way, we can very well utilize the M sand 100% because of the necessity. It is the best alternative for M sand. And one of my PhD scholars completed this complete study with workability, strength, and durability properties. Everything was good. Up to 70% of replacement of M sand with natural sand gives very good property. Beyond that, we have to go for some plasticizer to improve the workability of the concrete. Otherwise, it is so good, and when compared to natural sand, it is giving other good properties, strength and durability properties. Now let us go to the next part of this presentation about admixtures. I hope already some speakers might have touched upon this admixture. Other than sand, aggregates, and water, the additional ingredient which is being used as called as admixtures, which is very complete to achieve or enhance certain property of the concrete. So we can go with the admixtures other than the and water for replacing cement also admixtures, and for to give additional property to the concrete or circumstances to improve certain property to the concrete. We can go with something also chemical admixtures. Why we have to go pictures is to increase the strength of the concrete and to improve the workability, to attain early strength, to control the setting time of concrete, to reduce the permeability, controlling efflorescence, and improve color vibrancy, meet durability requirements, and control shrinkage and everything. So the admixtures are not being used nowadays. It has been started with 1935 itself using plasticizer, and there are many types of admixtures have come for using it in a different purpose. And when we talk about admixtures, everybody might have heard about mineral admixtures and chemical admixtures. One more admixture is a bio admixture. I am going to talk more about this bio admixtures because we have done some research on these bio admixtures. Most of the participants participants might have heard about these things, mineral and chemical admixtures already. It may not be new to us, but I am going to enlighten more on bioadmixtures. First, let us see something about mineral and chemical admixtures. So these are all the mineral admixtures which are going to replace the cement to some extent. And fly ash, GGBS, RHA, lysis ash, silica fume, metakaolin and all. And mineral admixtures are nothing but pozzolanic material with low calcium fly ash, cementitious, cementitious materials, both pozzolanic and cementitious, natural materials and byproducts. What is that pozzolanic material means? Actually, the pozzolana is the place where the first pozzolanic material was obtained. So, all the materials which replaces cement is called pozzolanic material. And cementitious material, most of the pozzolanic material like low calcium fly ash and all, it doesn't have any cementitious property initially. After the cement is getting hydrated, then only it will start reacting to the hydrated product. Whereas cementitious material like GGBS initially contains some cementitious property, and we have some material which has both pozzolanic and cementitious property, that is high calcium fly ash, and the natural material volcanic ash and byproduct material which are the material obtained from the industry as a byproduct or as a waste material. So what these mineral admixtures are doing? So it will lower the heat of hydration and thermal shrinkage, increase how it lowers the heat of hydration is, for example, when you take fly ash, the fly ash doesn't have any cementitious property at all. So for example, I am using 70% of the cement and 30% of the fly ash. First, the 70% of the cement will be added with water, will be getting hydrated. So only whatever the water we are adding will be utilized by the cement, 70% cement only for hydration process. And after hydration, the CH and CSH are formed. Once CH, that is calcium hydroxide, is formed, then this fly ash will start reacting called the pozzolanic reaction or secondary reaction with this CH and try to convert it into CSH. So initially for 70% of the cement only the hydration process is taking place, so the heat of hydration will be reduced. Whereas for normal concrete, 100% starts reacting immediately, so the heat of hydration will be more. And increasing the water tightness is when we use mineral admixtures, it will form the CSH gel, more CSH gel. Because of that, the pores are reduced. And not only that, some mineral admixtures will act as filler material also, so that there will be a water tightness. And it will reduce alkali aggregate reaction, improving chemical resistance and improving early strength, workability and extensibility. What should be the requirement for mineral admixtures? Mainly for mineral admixtures, higher silica content, should be there. Why it is needed is for normal cement it has more calcium, right? So that it can react immediately and it will form calcium hydroxide and calcium silicate hydrate, CSH gel. The CH is not good for the concrete. So whatever the way we have to reduce the CH quantity and increase the CSH quantity. So once CH is formed out of the hydration of cement, when this mineral admixtures contain SiO2, then it consumes that CH and converts it into CSH. So for that, for any mineral admixtures, it should contain more SiO2. So that we have to keep it in mind. Another one is the spherical shape of the particles will have more mobility and it will improve the workability of the concrete, and also the hydration, secondary pozzolanic reaction will be very fast. Higher specific surface area. That means for normally for cement, if you take its specific surface area is 300 to 400 meters square per case. That means when you spread over 1 kg of cement, it will occupy the surface area of 300 to 400 meters square. Whereas if you take mineral admixtures like silica, fume and metaphyllite, their specific surface area is about 20,000 meters square. That means 1 kg of these mineral admixtures will occupy around 20,000 meters square. That means its specific surface area is more, its fines is more, so very quickly it will react, so we will get early strength in the concrete. And the higher pozzolanic reactivity, loss of ignition should be low, and higher amorphous content. These are all the requirements of mineral admixtures. As I said, the type of mineral admixtures, the pozzolanic materials are natural or byproduct. Natural materials are these things, and the byproduct are fly ash, blast furnace slag, silica, fume, rices, ash, and all. So we know that fly ash is coming out of thermal power plants, and blast furnace slag is from steel industries, silica fume from ferrosilicon industries. Out of these, silica fume has very high specific surface area, and if you can see the particle shape of the cement, fly ash, silica fume, and ultrafine fly ash, you see the silica fume, the particle size is very, very less, so it will react very quickly, very fast, and you can attain the strength very early strength can be attained. Rices ash, from the rices, the ash is produced which can be used up to 10 to 20% for the replacement of cement. When you take the paddy, 1000 kg of paddy will be converted into 200 kg of rice husk or rice husk, from which 40 kg of the ash can be drawn out. So this ash can be used since it contains more silica content and SiO2 content. You see this picture, bottom picture, you can see the SiO2 content present in this rice ash. Because of that, it will react and it will convert CH into CSH. So these are all the mineral admixtures used in concrete. So mineral admixtures can be used for improving workability, durability in thermal cracking and chemical attack. So addition of mineral admixtures to the concrete will improve the chemical durability and improve the impermeability of the concrete, and we can attain strength at early ages. Alkali silica reaction can be reduced, and it will resist acid, sulfate, and salt water. So there are plenty of advantages over using mineral admixtures, and these mineral admixtures are not the new product, it is the byproduct of the industry, it is the waste from the industry. So we can very well use the waste. The waste is not a waste, it is a boon to the construction industry, can be effectively used. These are all the reaction, as I said, the CaOH5, that is calcium hydroxide, is converted, and it may be a siliceous material or aluminous material. When it is presence of moisture, it will form, and it possesses maybe little cementitious value. So in that way, when you see the pozzolanic reaction here, in this first picture, there is a first reaction. There will be lot of CH, and in the second picture, because of pozzolanic reaction, CH is converted into CSH. And if you see the mineral admixtures, here you can see that calcium oxide, SiO2 silicon dioxide, and Al2O3 aluminum dioxide. These three are the main elements or components present in the mineral admixtures, which contributes towards the improvement in properties of the concrete. By seeing this PZ is the cement, Portland cement, which has very less SiO2, and it has some calcium oxide and some aluminum dioxide. But whereas if you see the silica fume, which is in the top corner, which contains more silicon dioxide, so it will react very quickly and forms CSH gel very fast. And natural pozzolans also in this category. So like that, if you see this, the present only proves that whether it is going to be added as an admixtures, whether it can convert CH into CH. So now let us come to chemical admixtures. These are all some of the codes which are used in chemical admixtures. If you see the types of chemical admixtures, you can have the water reducer, accelerator, retarder, Valentine. There are some special. These four are the main chemical admixtures used in everywhere. But the special admixtures are for the specific purpose it can be used, either as a corrosion inhibitor, anti-washout admixture, and then ASR controlling admixture, leakage admixture. The water reducing admixtures, if you see that, normally we know that when the strength depends upon the water cement ratio. When you increase the water cement ratio, the strength of the increase. But when you reduce the water cement ratio, the it will increase. But when we reduce the water cement ratio, the workability will be affected. So in such a case, to get the strength as well as workability, we have to add some admixture which will reduce the water content. So for which we can use water reducing admixtures like that. In the mixed season criteria, if you see the picture, usually we will consider workability and strength. For example, if I want workability as A and strength as B, we can use admixture to some extent by reducing some water content, minus water content. Then it will improve the workability. Workability is equal to A and strength is beyond B. That means it will increase the strength. And another case, if you take, you can add admixture, reduce water, because water is reduced, water cement ratio will be reduced. Once water cement ratio will be reduced, cement also reduced. So you can reduce some quantity of water as well as some quantity of cement. By adding such a case, the workability, whatever you want, it will be added, that also is equal. Just it is satisfies the criteria. We will get but when we add only admixture, you are not reducing water or you are not reducing cement, your workability will be improved, but the strength will be equal to whatever you do. So in such a case, like quality improves. This is not the function of reducing water reducing admixture, for which we are using plasticizers. But whatever the chemical admixtures we are using, we have to be very careful and some precautionary measures we have to take. Otherwise, we will give negative pressure when we use plasticizer as working admixture. This plasticizer you have to add with the correct quantity or correct dosage. When you overdose the plasticizer, when you give beyond the requirement, it will give adverse effects or negative effects on the farm. And also it is uneconomical. Usually, when you see the cans which is available in can, they have given in that specification that 1% by weight of cement you have to add, or 2% by weight of cement. But just like that, we cannot add, we should not add that much quantity of sugar. We have to check it and whether it is compatible with the cement or not. Accordingly, only we have to fix the dosage of the plasticizer. So by conducting the test, we have to find out the characteristics beyond which cannot it will give negative effect or reduce the property or strength of the concrete. So and another one is concrete yield. So once if we use plasticizer,
I think there has been a audit. Yeah.
some other mineral admixture.
There is an audio problem, madam. If you can just voice was breaking.
Hello.
Audio.
Hello,
Audio.
sir,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can hear you.
Hello.
Now I can hear you. Yes. Yes. Now it's okay.
Okay.
Now it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So there are some types of chemicals used for agriculture. This is what the mechanism is using superplastic. The mechanism is usually when you have the cement particles mixed with water, what will happen? The particles are in like shape. Like means minus plus like that. So automatically when the two are added together, so that the cement particles will be clustered together. But once if it is clustered together, what will happen inside this cluster? Some unhydrated cement are let out, and it will not be getting hydrated, and also some water is being cluster. So that water is not also being used for hydration purposes. In such a case, what happened is some unhydrated cement is left out, and whatever the quantity of cement we have added and water is not fully utilized for hydration process, then it will reduce the strength of the process. Otherwise, it will add it will act as a dispersant agent, and it will make the cement particles into the cycle chain. So in such a case, all are minus, all are plus, then same poles are getting repelled. So in such a way, the cement particles are dispersed and it may not get clustered. So all the cement particles are getting separated so that we get hydration of cement. So superplasticizer not only improve the quality of the concrete, also it improves the strength of the concrete. So yeah, those are clustered together, but with water reduced there, you can see that they are not so that the better mobility between the particles will improve the workability as well as usually clustering of cement will make some of the unpackaged, so it is getting wasted. So for full utilization of cement and water, this mechanism of superplastic will help the concrete to improve the workability as well as strength. This application where we can go for the superplastic. One engineer he asked me that for M20 concrete he has used superplastic. Whether it is necessary for using this water reducing admixture of superplastic or M20 grade concrete, we have to check that because for M20 concrete usually we have water cement ratio of 0.5 that is sufficient for getting workability of the concrete. Once when you go for higher grade of concrete, then you have to reduce the water cement ratio. In such a case, to improve the workability for superplastic. Another thing for like a self-compacting concrete for high flowable concrete, you need to go with superplastic with less water to achieve the strength as well as workability. But without knowing the proper things are properly, they are not being given the input about the superplastic. Just like that, they are trying to add them. And another one engineer he asked me that he is when he was constructing columns. There are 20 columns. About for 10 columns, he has not used the superplastic. After that, only one person came and wrote about the superplastic. For the remaining columns, he used the superplastic. That is also not correct. So, because of the superplastic, strength and other properties are getting changed. In such a case, some columns will behave differently and other columns will behave differently. So, we should know better about these admixtures before using it, and we have to see that whether it will be applicable for that particular situation or not. For example, self-compacting concrete, floor slab for early remolding and for improved work quality, we can go for this superplasticizers. Then we have to have some precautions. while using super plasticizer. As I said, for mixed design, since we are reducing some quantity of water and cement, we can add some 5% extra fine aggregate. And flowing property, when you use super plasticizer, it will lose its flowing property after some time. So we have to, within 30 to 45 minutes, that concrete should be used. Otherwise, what we can do is, while going with the ready mix concrete or other things, before placing, before 5 to 10 minutes, we can add super plasticizer. And also, after adding super plasticizer, we have to make it continuous mixing for 5 minutes will improve the workability. And the dosing also, as I said, correct dosage of super plasticizer should be used. Excessive vibration may create segregation and bleeding. That also we have to keep it in mind. And for farm work, because of this super plasticizer, there will be extra pressure developed in the concrete. So we have to guarantee that the farm work should be strong enough to carry that extra pressure. And this is what already I told. And accelerators and retarders, everybody is using. We know that accelerator will increase the rate of hydration, reduce the setting time, whereas retarder slow down the rate of hydration but increase the setting time. And accelerator and all, it will form the ettringite formation is very quick. In case of accelerator, it will increase the rate of dissolution of the tricalcium silicate. So these are all the materials used. And sir, can you see the slide fully? Anil Pillai sir?
I can
Anil
see.
Kumar sir?
I see the slide fully. Yes, I can see the
sir?
slide. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Full slide is I am able to.
Okay, sir. So for using accelerators also, we have to have some precautionary measures. The evolution of heat will be more. In such a case, by using accelerators, it will have the accelerate the hydration process. Because of that, heat evolution will be more, and we have to take care about that. And corrosion may be initiated earlier, and when we have more reinforcement, in such a case, we can try to avoid accelerators. And the dosing also should be done correctly. And when you use ready-mix concrete, when you have some accelerator, after some time of transportation, it may be settled, either retarder or accelerator. After mixing, while mixing, when you are making some time to take it further, then before placing, we have to once again mix it properly, otherwise there will be some settlement. Retarding admixtures, these are all the chemicals we are using, and the mechanism of retarding admixture is by adsorption or precipitation. And these are all used for large pore, sliding formwork, hot weather concreting, and ready mix concreting. Here also we have to have some precautionary measures like it should be poured properly, because
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. It's coming broken here because of the testing, I suppose.
Yes, madam.
Hello.
Yeah, the voice is coming broken. Yeah, now is okay.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes. Yeah, now you're audible.
So then next one is air and rain admixture. This is air and rain concrete, particularly in case of freezing and thawing conditions. Like Kashmir and Dal, the concrete is exposed to extreme temperatures. During night time, it will be in a freezing temperature. During daytime, it will be in thawing temperature. So in such a case, what will happen is this concrete will become ice, and after that, there will be some reactions inside. For that case, we can use air mixture, which will form a bubble inside the concrete. this bubble will occupy some water during the night time, then it will be released as during daytime. So in such a case, you can see the difference between the air and rain concrete and non-air and rain concrete. These bubbles will occupy some water and it will be released for the hydration of the cement, which is shown in the bottom figure. So there are wood resins or animal and vegetable waste are being used as chemicals in air and rain sources. Very small quantity of dosage of air and rain admixture is sufficient. And this is applied particularly for freeze and thaw resistance, poor aggregates, and for pumping of concrete and for extruded concrete. And here also we have to be very careful while using this air and rain admixtures. While mixed proportion, dosing, air content, then while using it in temperature conditions. During high temperature, the property of the air and rain region may be changed or it may be give negative effect also. The mixing time should be proper and transportation also we have to do. And so far we have seen that mineral admixtures and chemical admixtures. Mineral admixtures which are replacing particularly cementitious material, which will act as a cementitious material or a filler material. And chemical admixtures are used for achieving the specific property of the concrete, either improving such a property or reducing the property of the concrete we are using chemical admixtures. Now let us see bioadmixtures. Bioadmixtures are coming up nowadays and which are eco-friendly and non-toxic. When you use chemical admixtures, some of the chemical admixtures will do some irritating effect to the layers, whereas bioadmixtures are user-friendly, eco-friendly and non-toxic, and also it is sustainable. So we can go with the bioadmixtures. I am going to explain you about these properties, how to improve these properties in concrete using bioadmixtures, which we have done some research work on this. Now, for curing purpose, for corrosion inhibition, and for crack sealing, bioadmixtures are being used. So this is not a new one. Already in Roman period itself, the bioadmixtures were used, like urine, blood, and straw. The urine is being used as a retardant, and the blood is used for air entrainment, and straw is being used for fibers. So it is not new to us, but already Romans they have tried. Already you might have heard about that they have used jaggery or egg for improving the properties of lime concrete. They have used certified. These and all they have used earlier days. Now it is coming up again how the biomaterials can be replaced for the chemical admixtures, which is long-lasting admixture. Not only that, it improves the property of the concrete. Now, if you see this picture, it is strengthened durability of the concrete is improved by having bacteria. See, these microorganisms in concrete are having biomimetic technique for improvement of both strength and durability of the concrete. But if you see this, the picture, the concrete also having the same, it is mimicked in biological process what is happening with the bacteria. Same thing is being used for this concrete structure. So this is what called biomimetics, or how we are imitating the nature. The uniqueness of the nature or unique property or unique positive thing in nature can be imitated for making our concrete structures. See this, it is inspiring strategy called the bacterial concrete or bioconcrete. Normally, this bioconcrete or bacterial concrete is used for self-healing concrete. So whenever the crack appears, the bacteria will be be grown, multiplied 1,000 times when the crack appears on the concrete. When it is exposed to air and water, automatically it will multiply and it will heal the concrete because it contains calcium chloride. Like our bones are self-healing property and muscles have self-healing property in humans, and in plants the veins have self-healing property. Like this, the same thing is being mimicked for concrete also for self-healing. So generally the cracks appear like this in concrete. When it is having self-healing property, automatically close each other. These are all the cracks healing property you can see at the bottom picture. This is biomimicry of the self-healing concrete. Normally, for normal concrete, there will be repairing what we have to do mechanically, whereas here it will heal on its own, and also it increases the strength about 60%. The lifetime of the structure is so usually what is the mechanism involved in this is once if the crack is formed, the concrete plus carbon microfibers and the microcapsules are formed inside. Once the bacteria gets water and oxygen, it forms like this. Then it will absorb moisture. Then it will softening and growing of fibered concrete, as I shown in the previous picture, like this. Here you can see this, it is stitching-like formation. The fibers are closing the cracks. That is formed because of this growth of the multiplication of the organisms. Then it fills the cracks, then the concrete is getting strengthened. This is what the mechanism for bacterial concrete or self-healing concrete. Next, I am going to talk about this self-curing concrete. Self-curing concrete, or it is called self-curing bioadmixture. Usually, what is self-curing or internal curing? Internal curing of concrete is no need of doing external curing. After concreting is done, we will do 28 days of curing, water curing, for improving and hydration of the cement. Why we have to apply water from external outside towards inside is some of the unhydrated cement will be mixed out because unavailability of water, because the mixed water may be getting evaporated, it is lost. So to compensate that, we are applying water from outside, then it will go inside, penetrated to inside the concrete, wherever the unhydrated cement is there it will react and form hydration process. But it is not highly effective because when we apply water from external, it may not go inner depth of the concrete. So 100% hydration may not be possible. Another one thing is usually the curing part of the concreting is neglected or ignored by the laborers, and labor may not be available and water may not be available, and for pumping water electricity is needed. So many problems are there. So the internal curing or self-curing concrete is recommended. For self-curing concrete, what it will do is, particularly the mechanism involved for self-curing is, it will stop the evaporation of water and the loss of water is minimized or reduced. So once if the water mixed for concrete based on the calculation of water cement ratio, all the quantity of water should be available for the hydration of cement. Once if it is getting evaporated, some of the water is lost, then it is some unhydrated cement will be left out. So for the entire cement is to be getting hydrated, it needs the correct quantity of cement. So for that, the self-curing agent what it will do is it will not allow water to evaporate too fast. So here already we are using this polyethylene glycol. Polyethylene glycol is the chemical admixture which will have the property of storing water, holding water inside the concrete. Equivalently, what we have tried is two biomaterials. One is Calotropis byzantina. It is the chemical name of Erythrum shade. Another one is Spinacia oleracea. This is collard green. So these two biomaterials are tried to replace or whether it is equivalent to polyethylene glycol or not in the research. So what we found is we have optimized the dosage of this Spinacia oleracea. S4 is Spinacia oleracea is 0.6% by weight of cement. Calotropis byzantina 0.24% by weight of cement, and polyethylene glycol 0.3% by weight of cement. By conducting many trials, we found that this is the optimum dosage of these materials. Why we have chosen this Spinacia oleracea is a collard green which has these green leaves which has the capacity to hold the water. So while cooking, you could see that there is no need of adding water while cooking greens. So particularly collard green which has more water holding capacity, so it will use up water when you cook. So what we need for simulating is that it has to hold the water and release it for hydration process of cement whenever it is. Why we have chosen this Calotropis byzantina is if you see that Calotropis byzantina milk we are taking out. So they usually during ancient times, earlier times, this milk is being used for medicinal purposes. When the thorn is sticking on our leg, they will put this milk. What it will happen is it will stop the blood coming out, and also after some time watery material along with thorn will come out. So it has the capacity to stop the water blood to come out. So like this water to come out, and also to act as an internal reservoir to store the water, hold the water, and apply for the hydration process. So this is how we have made the extract from the collard green, as well as we collected this from Ramco. And this is the chemical formula for FTIR drug, Fourier transform infrared. This study will give you the picture how the structures and peaks are similar to that of the polyethylene glycol. You can see that the bottom picture shows polyethylene glycol. Top two are one is collard green, or Calotropis byzantina. See the structures and peaks are similar to that of the polyethylene glycol, so that it has the property of holding water that we have proved. Another one is by mixing these collard green or Erythrum in concrete, after 7 days, we have made the concrete into powder, and for which also we have done this FTIR spectrum, this analysis. Here also you could see that the graph and curves, peaks, stretches are similar to that of the polyethylene glycol. So which is similar to that of polyethylene glycol. Another one is X-ray diffraction analysis. Here you could see that the peaks of the 20 to 40 degrees, this is x-axis 2 theta, and you can see that wherever the peak comes within 20 to 40 degrees, this is 20, 30, 40 degrees, here if the peak is coming. So the peak when the peak is coming in between 20 to 40 degrees, that shows that presence of ether and hydroxide group. And 31 degrees shows ether group and 34 degrees shows hydroxide group. So here M20 concrete, M30 and M40 concrete, in all the cases the peaks are there between this 20 to 40 degrees. That shows that there is a presence of hydroxyl ether. The presence of hydroxyl ether shows that it has the capacity to hold the water and stop the water evaporation. So it has been proved that all both the two biomaterials are having the properties similar to that of the polyethylene glycol. So it is very well proved that it can be added as a self-cooling agent. That is what we have done, and we have patented also. We have filed a patent inhibition. Bioadmixtures can be used as corrosion inhibition agent. So you know that for corrosion of reinforcement in concrete is very vulnerable for disintegration of the concrete structures. How the corrosion is happening is when the corrosion is embedded, shield reinforcement is embedded inside the concrete. Whenever the crack or some permeation is there, chloride ion ingress or any acid or any water enter into the concrete and touches the steel reinforcement, then it starts corroding. So once it starts corroding, what will happen is the steel volume of the steel is increased about 6 times. So once the 6 times the volume increases, it cannot occupy the space inside the concrete. It will try to come out by making some cracks. So this is what happening in corrosion. But can we avoid this corrosion? There are many methods, out of which one of the best method is corrosion inhibitors, using some corrosion inhibitors inside the concrete. So for which we may use some calcium nitrate or calcium nitrate, which can be mixed to the concrete, or we can use some coating on the reinforcement, for which we are using some chemicals. Again, when we use chemicals for the corrosion inhibition, it is again toxic. So whether we can replace any natural material or natural organic inhibitors for this purpose, that can be done. Here, if you see this picture, this is what mechanism of corrosion, how it is taking place. Whereas when you use some plant extract, when you use the natural product of plant extract on these giving coating over the reinforcement, it will be forming a protective layer. So which will not allow the water or any acid to enter into the reinforcement surface, and which will be protecting the steel from corrosion. If you see this picture, right side picture, how the corrosion inhibition is happening, if you take the mild steel, if it is uninhibited, what is happening is the corrosion is taking place. Whereas if it is inhibited by forming a layer over the surface, then it will be green and there is no corrosion at all. For this purpose, there are plenty of plants have been identified which has the corrosion inhibiting property. Already you can see that sugar, jaggery are added, and there are many plants have been identified which possesses anti-corrosive property, and there are many articles have come out, and even aloe vera, then this garlic, and then moringa leaves, mango leaves, all are identified as the corrosion inhibitors, and there are many researches are going on with this, and oil and gas plants, many industrial plants, not only reinforcement concrete, for metal corrosion, any metal, steel, copper, for any metal, we can apply these inhibitors, organic inhibitors, which are user-friendly, eco-friendly, non-toxic, and cost-effective. How we can identify whether it possesses this particular plant possesses corrosion inhibition properties? It should have the 4 components. S, N, O, P. What is S? Sulfur, N, nitrogen, O, oxygen, P, phosphorus. If it contains any of these things, it may have the anti-corrosion property. Then we have to test it for its phenol compounds and flavonoid compounds. Based on that, we can identify whether that particular plant can be used as a corrosion inhibitor. For you take while taking the plant, not any part of the plant may have the corrosion inhibition property, either leaves or fruit or root or seeds, even bark. Any part of the plant may possess the corrosion inhibition property, for which there are researches going on, and we are doing research in this area, and we identified many plants as containing this corrosion inhibition property. So bioadmixtures are coming up, which are need of the hour. Instead of going for chemicals, it is very can have cost-effective, natural, and non-toxic mixtures in future. Thank you all. So far, we have discussed about 3 types of admixtures: mineral, chemical, and bio admixtures, and what is the role of M Sand in concrete. Thank you. Hello.
Chemical admixtures. Now you're able to hear me? Yeah, thanks for that talk on M Sand, mineral admixtures and chemical admixtures, because as all of us know now, all these three are being used widely in concrete across the country, and bio admixtures, this thing is just taking roots. I think it will take some time. But the interaction between these three is an interesting phenomenon in concrete itself, because we have seen that many practical problems can be avoided if we can understand the properties of M Sand, mineral admixtures and chemical admixtures. Because as of all of us would have seen, whenever we do concrete trials at ready-mix concrete, or say for example in major project sites, we are facing this challenge of how to bring in a longer slump retention time as well as higher compressive strength, because many places we have seen that they are using self-compacting concrete having a high concrete grade, maybe M50, and at the same time they need a high slump retention of up to 2 and up to 3 hours. So maintaining the slump retention as well as the compressive strength becomes a challenge, and I think in that direction one needs to understand the properties of this material. So that was a good presentation by your side. Thank you so much, madam, for having taken time off from your busy schedule, because I am sure that you would be having number of online classes as well, but you have been able to take time for giving this presentation to working professionals, academicians, because we have all the professionals from construction industry, and this webinar series is meant to enhance the knowledge of construction professionals, as well as to have a very good technical sharing, knowledge sharing between all of us, because at the end of it, what is more important is all of us should be able to make good concrete. And we should also, one thing we have seen that is that we should also be able to understand the properties of individual materials, like say for example cement, admixtures, fly ash, slag, and all these materials which are going into concrete, including of course water, which is a very critical element when it is being used in concrete. And during the last 4 sessions also, we saw how the field of geotechnical engineering, the properties of soil, foundation also plays a vital role, because when we construct a tall building or any kind of structure which is massive, I'm sure that foundation is going to play a vital role. And for foundation to play a vital role, we know that the soil also should be understood clearly, because based on the understanding of the soil only we can design the foundation. So that was another aspect of civil engineering which we had covered, and I am sure that with this kind of interaction we would be having a lot of ideas that would come to mind. Say for example, now recently all of the professionals would be aware that when we brought in Ramco Supercrete cement, which is having a high compressive strength and at the same time having low heat of hydration, we have seen that how it is working well with M Sand. But as the speaker today had clearly indicated that before we jump to the conclusion as to what M Sand is, we need to understand what exactly is that. Sometimes a stone dust is mistaken to be M Sand. Quarry dust is mistaken to be M Sand, which is very fine. But there is always a limit of fine particles in the sand. Although it is below 4.75 mm, but then if the fine dust or very fine particles are more, all of us know that it could lead to shrinkage cracks, water consumption could be more. So a proper judicious combination of all this material and proper understanding of all the materials that goes into making of concrete is very critical. So that was properly highlighted in today's talk. Apart from this, we would be having tomorrow a webinar at 11 a.m. By Dr. Bhikshma on the role of NDT testing on concrete. And day after tomorrow at 11 a.m. we have a talk by Dr. Manu Santanam of IIT Madras on again blended cement and ternary materials. And I am sure that all these lectures would further enhance our knowledge or brush our knowledge, those who are already in touch with the recent advancements. So with those few words, let me thank today's speaker, Dr. Malathy. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
sir.
And I thank all the construction professionals for having logged in and listened to us for the talk. And I thank our MACE engineers, our MACE managers, the team of MACE managers from Tamil Nadu, Mr. Ramachandran and Mr. Jagdishan, for having organized today's webinar in coordination with Mr. Suraj Kumar, who is our host for the entire webinar series. And all this has been made possible because of our IT team, Mr. Karthikeyan, who has been with us right from the beginning, right from the day when the webinar series started. So with those few words, thank you all. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.